Hey everyone, and welcome back to Mission 1820 and this week's episode of Have You Ever Wondered? This is a weekly series where we answer a common biblical question in just 5 minutes or less. So, without further ado, let's get to this week's question. You know, with everything that's going on in the world today, the question arises, are we approaching the end times? Are the end times actually among us? Well, the good news is that the Bible does give us some clear indicators of what to actually look for during the end times. And we seem to look toward Matthew chapter 24, verses 5 through 8, when Jesus does give us some important clues for discerning the approach of the end times. And this is what he says. He says, "For many will come in my name, saying that I am the Christ, and will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Jesus also tells us that the nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and that these are all signs of the end times. But he tells us that these are only just the beginning of the birth pangs, and that the end is still yet to come. Some Christians and others will read the news every day and attempt to interpret every earthquake or war, famine, or even the attack on Israel as a sure indicator that the end times are fast approaching. Now, while all these events can signal the approach of the last days, they in and of themselves are not indicators that the end times are here. So what do we look for? Well, in Luke chapter 21, verse 11, Jesus shows us another indicator to look for when he says, "And there will be great earthquakes in various places, famines, pestilences, and there will be fearful sights and great signs from heaven." But what are some of these fearful sights and signs from heaven that we should look for? Well, they definitely include the rebuilding of the Jewish temple in Jerusalem. We're going to see increased hostility towards Israel, which we are seeing. There's going to be strong advances towards a one world government, which they're definitely trying to do. And there's going to be an increase in false teaching, which we see now. Luke chapter 21, verse 25 says, "And there will be signs in the sun and the moon and in the stars." What exactly will these signs be? We don't know, but I'm guessing that when we see the Son of Man coming in a cloud and with great power and glory, that's going to be a big sign for us. What I do know is that having Israel as a nation in its own land since 1948 is important in the light of end times prophecy because of Israel's prominence in eschatology. So, with these end time signs in mind, we can be more discerning Christians in regard to the expectation of the end times and what we're seeing today. However, none of these signs in and of themselves should be thought of as clear indicators of the soon arrival of the end times. God, He's given us enough information in the scriptures so that we can be prepared and not to be scared with everything that is going on around us, around the world. So, are we living or even approaching the end times today? No one knows for sure when Jesus is actually going to return, but the rapture can occur at any moment, and God's going to deal with our sin either through His grace or His wrath. So instead of spending time trying to interpret all these events to the end times, I would suggest that you spend your time getting right with God before the end times actually happen. So God bless, and thanks for watching.